While living and traveling in China, whenever I see something interesting or impressive, I record them by taking photos and videos just like most people these days. It is not unusual nowadays to share these moments and our feelings on social media platforms. However, there is something I find quite interesting. When an international person says something positive, breaks certain stereotypes, or just participates in some events related to China, bam, you immediately get labeled as wumao. So many foreigners have been labeled by internet trolls as wumao. Where did this word come from? Why do people use this label to ignore true and real accounts about China? And what do Chinese and the international community think about this label and its effect? This is Dialogue with China. I'm Keegan Strang. Let's get rolling.
他们总是觉得有些对我们中国有代表友好的意思的人，他们就会觉得啊，你这是特定的，是要美化，还是我们花钱的，说我们的，但只是代表了一个情绪的一个阴暗面而已。
这东西就是一个手段，就是相当于通过这种手段，让别人就不信我们自己的内容。
他们就是 simply 无知，对他对中国的了解可能都是停留在可能50、60年代。 或者是清朝，就是你还扎辫子。
Wumao means 50 cents in Chinese. It was first widely used by Chinese people to describe something that is cheap and of poor quality. For instance, wumao texiao means a lame special effect. Later, this term has been used by people outside of China as an insult towards people with pro-China or even just non-anti-China views. Delicious Chinese food, wumao. Breathtaking Chinese views, wumao. Convenient life in China, wumao. Traveling vlog in Xinjiang, wumao. Poverty alleviation in China, wumao. High-speed rail, wumao. Singing a Chinese song, wumao. I'm getting tired already, but I could continue on like this all day. Seems like if you say anything positive about China, you could easily receive that hashtag, even if you're telling the truth and trying to provide another angle on China.
Recently, a British vlogger Kurt McCardle, who moved to China in 2021, sent a photo of himself holding a Chinese social security card, pretending that it was evidence of him receiving a stipend from the Chinese government to write positive comments regarding China on the internet. This photo was retweeted by the so-called experts on China in the West as evidence of China sponsoring internet influencers to voice pro-China views.
Anyone who spent any time in China or lived here knows that this is a social security card. Most working adults carry these things. You use them, for example, when you go to hospital. I mean, the UK has the same. We have a national insurance number. The USA has social security number.
It showed that some so-called experts on China don't actually know the country really well. Yet they stigmatize people who understand this country as wumao.
People who your media will quote on a regular basis as fact. These are the experts. These people know nothing about life in China. Anyone who has spent time here will know that that is a social security card. It's really, really concerning that these are the amplified voices on China. These are the people that the BBC and the New York Times, CNN, will speak to and they will quote. They will treat them like they are the authority on China. And they can't read the language. They don't know anything about life here.
But what is the cause behind all these remarks? Why do people choose to stigmatize others instead of trying to appreciate and understand the positive side?
I think it's very irresponsible and unfair to label those positive comments or commentators on China as wumao. First of all, biased toward China and toward those commentators. And also, secondly, they probably do not have enough knowledge and quality information about what's going on in China. If you ask many of them, perhaps very few of them have really been to China, that they were even could be part of that organization to stigmatize China's global image, to say many negative things about China's reputation in order to achieve political, strategic or economic outcomes.
Many people claim they are so-called experts on Chinese, yet they can't recognize a single Chinese character. On the other hand, there are many international people who have been living here and trying their best to learn about the language, culture, society, and the people. These people should be the voice of what China is like today, Maybe it is high time we stop labeling them as wumao and try listening to what they have to say, and hopefully you will have a more realistic idea about China. This applies not only to China, but many countries around the world. At a time when we face a global pandemic and economic headwinds, understanding and communicating with each other has never been so important.